The new Pokemon Present showed off a bunch of new features coming to Pokemon in Pokémon Legends Arceus. But the two new main features that I'm excited about are the new Hisuian regional forms and the new regular evolutions, because now I have about 15 more topics for videos that I can make. The Hisui region takes us back to Old Sinnoh, and back to the old days before Mega Evolutions and Regional Form Evolutions to bring us completely new evolutions that simply evolve the Pokemon from their original selves, just like they did in Diamond and Pearl. Which makes me so happy to see, as now even more Pokemon can evolve from every generation without needing to be changed into a regional form like in Generation 8. They also showed off regional Hisuian forms that bring in a world of possibilities for Pokemon who already feel complete and don't need to evolve, but can be given a new look and typing to experience some of our favorite Pokemon in a new way. While these regular evolutions and regional forms have been confirmed, what hasn't been confirmed is whether they might also make regional Hisuian evolutions as well, like Obstagoon and Mr. Rime, or if that was exclusive to Generation 8. However, even if that is discontinued, it doesn't take away from these two new confirmed types of Pokemon additions in Legends Arceus. It also means we have new spots at the end of the Pokédex before Generation 9, meaning that anything is possible. Today we'll be looking over all 4 of the new Pokemon in this brand new game of Sinnoh's past, and ranking them in order of who is good to who's the best, because they're all really good and none of them are worst. Hope you enjoy us ranking all 4 new Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Number 4. Growlithe. As you may all know, Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so you might be wondering why Growlithe would be 4th on this list. Well, it's not 4th, technically it's the first one showing up, but okay. However, it is just the Hisuian form of Growlithe, and not its full evolution just yet. This makes me incredibly excited, as this means there's going to be a form for Arcanine, and this is already a wonderfully cute design for Growlithe. However, we'll only be focusing on the Pokemon itself, as Hisuian Arcanine has yet to be introduced. This is a great form that brings out an even fluffier Growlithe to love, and while I like to see those confident eyes popping out, I can really appreciate the new fur it's rocking and the prospect of what it can be turned into. Fire Rock is a bit of a different typing than I would expect, however it does show the evolution of this Pokemon over time, like when we started feeding meat to wolves and eventually turned their vicious stone hearts into fiery little passionate house puppies. Speaking of puppies, the Hisuian Growlithe now changes from the species of the puppy Pokemon to the scout Pokemon, which shows its original days of working a 9 to 5 as a watchman so your grandma can't be attacked by another bear and not being kept on a leash. If this list wasn't just off of designs or appeal of the Pokemon itself, and was about the prospect of what it means, then I would definitely have this as number 1, because with Arcanine being the legendary Pokemon, and one that's highly regarded as secretly special, this Pokemon being introduced and changing into the Scout Pokemon, and it likely evolving into a Hisuian Arcanine, gives us more information on the origins of Arcanine's past lore and how it became the legendary species Pokemon over time. This is something I've looked forward to, as that is such a different species for a Pokemon, even though it isn't in the legendary category. Hisuian Growlithe itself is a very cute little pup, and brings in the prospect of more amazing regional forms in this game, and it's a Pokemon that excites me, knowing that its final evolution has yet to be shown. Number 3. Bravery. Final evolutions usually make the higher end of a list on a ranking of brand new Pokemon due to seeing this new Pokemon in its completed form. However, when it's a form versus new evolutions, the hype can differ between these two types of new Pokemon. That's why Bravery is here at the 3rd spot, as even though it's another one of my favorite Pokemon that was on my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon list, I didn't rewatch it, but I probably put this bird on there, it is still a bit more hype, at least for me, to see brand new Pokemon over brand new forms for existing Pokemon. But this new psychic flying variation of Bravery still remains as a wonderful treat to witness in the new Pokemon Legends game. It doesn't have too much change, although the simple new look shows off the history of the original Bravery's patriotic self, starting off as a more wise and gracefully flying mystic bird from the past, before it was Americanized. It even lets us know that a new Rufflet may be on the way. However, that isn't entirely confirmed in the same way that Arcanine would be, as it could be another Pokemon that's like Galarian Wheezing, where coughing is the same, but its evolution isn't. I think these are different from Generation 8 though, so I'm willing to bet on a Hisuian Rufflet. It might be a hint to the historical past, as Rufflet evolves at level 54, and 1954 might as well be a millennia ago. Back then, fire wasn't invented yet, and thus the flame-looking psychic on Hisuian Bravery's head alludes to that, as it isn't actually real fire, and might as well be an illusion to be honest, it could be a myth. It's now known as the Battle Cry Pokemon, compared to being the Valiant Pokemon in its original form, and shows its origins related to the Sinnoh region of Japan, before protesting with its Battle Cry self so that it can be imported over, and flew past the border without a passport, pretending it was a Unovan citizen, because the government wouldn't listen. Land of the free, yet I'm still paying $59.99 for a recolored Pokemon's history. Number 2. Weirdeer. With the brand new regular non-regional form evolutions that split off the Pokemon and are different from their original selves, Sword and Shield, wait, who said that? Is there a ghost? We get to see these brand new Pokemon that build off of the Pokemon that were brought to us years ago that we would hope would someday evolve in the future. While we have 2 confirmed evolutions like this that stay true to those Pokemon, just like their old Gen 4 games, it brings up the possibility of endless evolutions with both more in this new game and in future games as well. The number 2 spot goes to Weirdeer, as it's the evolution of Stantler, who's been a Pokemon that I'd hope would see an evolution at some point with its nice standard design that could be built upon in any certain way. Yeah, sure, I gave it a slight mention in my video about Pokemon that should evolve, and actually gave the spot to Girafarig over it, but I did mention it should evolve as well, even though I did say Sawsbuck might satiate us for the time being as a spiritual successor evolution to Stantler. And now we have this Arctic Elk-like evolution for Stantler called Weirdeer. I mean, it's pretty close to Sawsbuck's winter form. They might not be in the same evolution tree, but if they found each other on a dating app, they might both take at least a minute to question if they should meet up, because they could be related. Luckily, that's not a problem in a past version of Pokemon, because both technology and certain states weren't created yet. Weirdeer has a very iced look, and if I put on a quiz asking someone who didn't know what type it was with just an image, they might say it's an ice type. However, it's a normal psychic, which does fit it as typing due to it looking like Gandalf. They did a really good job of passing off this design because it both adds on to the original concept and respects its original design, but also makes it look older and wiser to really make it look like Stantler grew up and evolved in a completely normal way. It was a great Pokemon to pick to evolve in this new game, and it was given a stellar looking design that was a good choice to introduce that evolution was still the correct concept that existed even in the past. Number 1. Bastiodon. While it's a bit of a pick you might not expect for number 1, Bastiodon tops this list as it's an evolution for a Pokemon that was unexpected and truly deserving of one. At the same time, it's also one that looks like a pure, barely changed evolution, just like the classic Generation 4 days. Stantler to Weirdeer does have an evolution that's not too changed, but it can look like it was an icy regional form evolution. But this, looking at this, brings me back to the old days of Electivire, Gliscor, Weavile, no not you right here. It really brings back the nostalgia from past Pokemon getting just simple evolutions in newer games. It was also put on a Pokemon that was a one-off like Durant or Maractus and made it bigger and better with a design that looks almost the same, but with an additional typing. It really brings me back, and although Basculin's origins are that of possessed diseased souls of other Basculins, which also brings me back, its look and how scary yet complete this fish is brings a brand new champion to the water ghosting type, at least for now. Even with that, it also only shows Basculegion in red, which might be its only color. However, it might be possible for them to either change the color or give it another form with the blue striped form of its pre-evolution as well. It's just so amazing to see a new simple evolution that could allude to so much that looks just like itself from its original generation and being turned into a fully completed, respectful evolution in a new game that's apart from the originals. No, not you, Probopass.